Hi, my name is Michael Atlee, and today I'll be talking to you about how to train a dog. How many people here have a dog? 2? Okay. The first few weeks you have a puppy are the crucial weeks in training a dog and installing all the facts and traits your dog will have for the rest of its life. There's a few things starting out when you train your dog that you want to have, and there's a few things you need prior to your puppy coming to your house. You need your kennel, you need treats, you need your food, your water bowls, any kind of medicines, everything you need for a dog you need to have before he comes to the house. And one of the reasons you need to have a kennel, and depending on your dog, is the size of it. You want a kennel that your dog can grow into. For one, because at a puppy age, you don't want him to have a big kennel because he'll use the bathroom in the kennel. You want that to be his sanctuary, his home, so you can section it off. But if you were to buy separate kennels throughout the dog's life, you're going to spend a lot of money. You want treats for your puppy, so every time your dog does something good, you can reward it. So he knows when he sits or shakes or heels or lays down and he gets a treat, he needs to do that more often. Toys are a big thing for a puppy. You don't want to overdo the toys, because if you give him too many, your dog will want to chew everything. You give him one specific toy and he knows that's his toy, not shoes or towels or wood table legs. Now, when you're training your dog how to sit, stay, lay down, heel, fetch, there's many ways to do it, but there's also a lot of wrong ways. One of the ways you need to do it is, for one, you need treats with you. And when you're training your dog to sit, you want to use your hands, you want to use gestures, but you also want to use one hand for a treat and one hand to punish. Most people use their left hand to give a treat, and when you give a treat, you say good and you pet the dog and you make sure he knows that what he did was really good. You use your other hand for punishing, but you don't want to hit him, you want to pop him. And there's certain ways to do it. You can find that in training guides and all kind of dog tutorials. Another way to train dogs is with a leash or with a shock collar. And training your dog with a leash is when he's a little bit older, so he knows that a leash is basically his rope to your side. You can train a dog with a leash by when you're walking to hold him out, and you use force to pull back on him, and he knows that he needs to stay by your side on walks. And it also, when he sees a leash when he's older, he knows, hey, I'm about to go on a walk, and they love to do that. Shock collars, on the other hand, are really good for dogs in the hunting aspect, field training, retrieving, but you don't want to overdo it. If you overdo the shocking, it can scare your dog and intimidate your dog. But with the right amount of force and in training with the shock collar, you can train your dog to be very good. When you say heel, he comes straight to you. And also, one thing with your puppy is feeding time. You don't want to overfeed your puppy or underfeed him. You need to learn the right ways to feed. There's ways you can put water in your food to make it softer. Also, it's really important to use time when you're feeding your dog. Feed him at the same time in the same place. Most times you want to feed your puppy in his kennel, so he knows that that's his home, that's where he gets fed, and that's where he drinks his water, and not other bowls laying around the house or other food laying around the house. Why is it important to train your dog? It's important to train your dog because you don't want a wild animal running around the neighborhood and kids getting attacked by dogs. No one likes that. Everyone sees on the news with pit bulls, and that's why they're the most hated dogs in America. A trained dog is a man's best friend, and if you train him right, he'll be with you through anything, and it's an awesome thing to have a dog that does what you say. People love it, and you love it, and he respects you for it. And that's all. Hello everyone. Today I'll be talking to you about why hunting is important to the economy in the U.S. Has anyone here seen Hunting Channel or hunting commercials or the Outdoor Channel? Why is hunting important for the economy? There are a few things why. One, ammo and guns and clothing sales. Every hunter has to buy ammo, every hunter has to buy guns, and every hunter has to buy the right clothing. And depending on what kind of guns you can buy, you can range from $200 to $5,000. Ammo, same thing. Ammo ranges from $15 a box to $100 a box. And clothing as well. There's different grains, which is your heating, your cooling for clothes. In Florida, there's lighter clothes. In the north, there's heavier clothes for the cold weather. Also, boats, ATVs, trailers, and trucks. You have boat hunting for ducks and various other sorts. You have your ATVs or also called four-wheelers for getting around in the woods. Trailers to trailer your ATVs or coolers and hunting stands and climbers. And people have farm trucks on their farms. And those are very expensive toys to have and are really important to hunting because that's what gets you around property and the rivers and lakes. Also is traveling. Hunters travel. Either you put money in your truck to drive down the road to your hunting camp or to go to another state, buy airplane tickets and travel on airplanes, trains, and all that goes back to the economy with the guns, the clothing, all that sales, and you have to go to a store to buy it, so the store makes money, the manufacturer makes money, and it's a good thing for the economy. What hunting is about? Hunting is about time away from the everyday life and stress. You can spend time with friends and family in the woods, no matter where you are or what you're doing. If you're in the woods, there's a sense of peace from stress, and it's really enjoyable. You have the fresh, clean air, animals everywhere, and it can be really, really neat, depending on, little kids go out in the woods and they have fun, older people go out in the woods and they have just as much fun, and it's really a great thing to do. What hunting is about. It can be also known as a thrill junkie's sport or a rich man's sport, but to be honest, it's not. Everyone hunts. You don't have to have much money to hunt. All you need is your gun and ammo. But hunting isn't just about going out and shooting animals, because people that shoot animals, they stuff them and they have mounts on the walls as their trophies. They have the meat, so when you're eating dinner one night with your family and you have a little kid ask you where the food came from, you can say you went out in the woods and shot it, so it can spark conversations, bring families together for food. It's really a good thing. Hunting is not what most people think, though. It does require a lot of money to buy land, but the person that buys the land leases it. So he buys the land from someone, and then he leases it to people who want to come and hunt. And all that interties together and puts money back in the economy. And when people in the animal rights side say that it's torture and it's brutal and people just go out there and shoot and kill animals, they have a point, but in the long run, if how the economy's poor right now, having a good, firm sport, instead of just buying a football ticket and going and sitting in the stadium, you're buying a lot more goods and putting it back in the economy. So overall, hunting boosts the economy. They said since 1939, $5.6 billion have gone towards the wildlife conservation program through hunters, and over $5.3 million a year are sold in ammo and hunting licenses in each state. That's a big chunk of change for an economy. Hi, my name is Michael Atlee, and I will be talking to you about a very important person in my life. There were some in my life that installed to me and to others all the traits that we have, and values, and everyday life, and how to be a man, and how to grow up the right ways with the right virtues and values. Who was he, and what did he do? He was a father of 4 children, 3 girls and 1 boy, and he also had 6 grandchildren and many other nephews and nieces. He worked as an iron worker in Jacksonville, Florida, and many other cities and states. He helped erect bridges across the rivers in Jacksonville. He helped build the building in Tallahassee, the state capitol. And when he was an iron worker, he was drafted into the Navy, and he spent some time in Saigon on a ship. And he was the most patriotic person I've ever met. Talked about the Navy all the time. He was almost kind of a recruiter for the Navy, but he got out, and I think I believe 1970s he was out of the Navy. He spent 30 years in the Navy. How he was in my life? Well, he was at every sporting event from when I was a little tiny child playing soccer to basketball games to football games, and then back when I started playing soccer again. And he was at all my brother's events, wrestling, my cousin's events. He would go to other events that he didn't even know the children but knew the parents, just to show support and give encouragement to a kid that needed it. He taught me how to hunt. He taught my brothers how to hunt. He loved the outdoors, was a big conservationist, loved spending time outside. His name was Charles Levon Guy. He was my grandfather, and he's my mom's dad, and he was the most important person in my life. And he taught us everything and was the most patriotic, most loving, loyal person I've ever met. And when he died in 2008, his funeral showed that. He had a Navy funeral, and many friends and family that we had never seen before had come to show their respects. And his name still is on today with all of us, and we all love him, and he was a great man.